Tonight, trucker challenges. Big rig drivers have been pulling double duty to make sure grocery stores are stocked and packages delivered. And unrest in St. Paul, why hundreds are hitting the streets in front of the governor's mansion. And Minnesota's governor relaxes several of his stay-at-home order restrictions, what it means for golfers, anglers, and more.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 6.
Good evening, I'm Anthony Mack. Kristen is on assignment. Thanks for joining us. A demanding job that just got even more demanding. During the COVID-19 pandemic, truck drivers are making sure all our packages get delivered, our grocery stores are stocked, and everything else gets where it needs to be. CBS3's Emma Quinn spoke with the Halver Line's truck driver today about what new challenges they face on the road.
Julie Simonson has been a truck driver for Superior-based Halver Lines for 2 years, driving all over the country. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, her job has changed dramatically as the demand for supplies grows and new procedures are put in place. Simonson says she's noticed a lot of companies she delivers to are short-staffed. There are also new protocols to follow when it comes to sanitizing and maintaining social distancing. She says all that can make the unloading and loading process a lot longer. On top of these extra steps, Simonson says there's also an increased demand for supplies, so she's driving a lot more routes than usual. Simonson says she usually has time to sightsee, but that hasn't been the case for several weeks.
Typically do about 2,500 miles a month or a week. At first week that it hit, I think I did 3,300 miles in the first week. It was just back to back.
Simonson says she's faced some personal challenges out on the road. She uses the bed in her truck more often rather than relying on rest stops along the way, many of which are closed depending on what state you're in. She says she plans her trips out so she'll know where she can stop to use the restroom and take a break. Because their orders are so backed up, Simonson says she doesn't have time to order curbside from restaurants on the road and has to rely on fast food. Simonson adds she is a trainer and usually has another driver in the truck with her, but due to COVID-19, she isn't allowed to have anyone else in the truck.
Thanks, Emma. Coming up tonight at 10, we'll hear from Halver Line's leaders about the challenges they're also facing internally. Still very few details on a high-speed chase on Interstate 35 near Cloquet. We first learned about the incident at about 10 after 5 this afternoon. At that point, Cloquet police had warned drivers to stay out of the I-35 northbound lanes. No word on what led to the pursuit or if it's over at this point. We'll continue to update you as we learn more. All right, Dave joins us for a quick look at the weather. Dave, I forgot what day it was on at 5 o'clock, but now I'm confident when I say Happy Friday.
Your confidence has paid off, and temperatures have paid up as the day's gone on. Right now, I'm only wearing 2 layers, unlike the 4 layers I've been wearing most of this week with that chill that we've had. It's a bright sign for, if not a bright weekend sky-wise, at least warm temperatures, especially on Saturday. Let's look at some of the low temps we had this morning. This should be the last of the really cold ones, perhaps for a while. I won't say forever, because that's a statement one does not make in our neck of the woods. But a lot of us dipped into the teens again this morning, but upper teens, and some towns pushed into the 20s. And by tomorrow morning, I think it's going to be a lot warmer than that. We're going to be able to add about 10 degrees onto these numbers for tomorrow's low temperatures. Well, the forecast for tomorrow and the weekend shows tonight increasing clouds as the low gets closer. 32 for the low temp tomorrow morning, above zero. 30% chance for some showers on Saturday. High, though, 53. Come Sunday, a little bit cooler, but a little bit sunnier. Some would say that's a pretty good price to pay. Well, will that admission fee pay for the rest of the week's weather to be on the fair side? I'll let you know with the 7-day forecast in just a couple more minutes.
Thanks, Dave. New at 6, a former Duluth school board member is running for a Minnesota House seat. Art Johnston has entered the race for the state's 7B seat, which represents much of the West Duluth area at the state capitol. He cited help for small businesses hit by the COVID-19 pandemic as his top priority if elected. He did not say which party he's affiliated with. Representative Liz Olson, a Democrat, currently holds that seat. She is running for re-election. It would be her 3rd term in office. More than $4 million is on the way to increase affordable housing options in Minnesota. Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith announced the funding today, which is from the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development. No word on exactly how that money will be distributed. Also new at 6, Superior's mayor is weighing in after Wisconsin's governor extended the state's safer-at-home order. Wisconsin's residents are being asked to stay at home until May 26th, but some businesses, like golf courses, can open up starting next Friday. Others can start offering limited services. Mayor Jim Payne says he agrees with those revisions. He said it's a positive step forward to move out of this crisis. Payne feels that this won't totally fix the economy, but he says it will allow some businesses to begin the recovery process.
I think this is a stabilizing measure. I don't think this fixes the damage to the economy that this crisis has caused or will continue to cause. So I hope that this will help some businesses to start getting back on their feet.
We have a full explanation on the changes to Evers' order on our website. Governor Tim Walz announced today he's lifting restrictions on certain outdoor activities as well. Some of those include opening golf courses, bait shops for fishing, and outdoor shooting ranges. Public and private parks are also allowed to reopen. Walz is asking everyone to continue social distancing and avoid crowded areas. He's also asking people to stay close to home, don't travel all over the state or to rural areas.
Get to where you can distance, get to a course nearby you, get out to a lake, get to a park where you can follow those measures.
Yesterday, Wisconsin's governor also allowed golf courses to open as of April 24th, as we've reported. Coming up tonight at 10, we hear from golf courses on both sides of the border on how they're preparing for social distancing. Minnesota launched a new page on its COVID-19 website dedicated to mental health resources. The governor says people are feeling isolated and may need help. Mental health providers are open. You can also text MN to 741-741 and someone will be in touch. You can also call star crisis for help. We'll have those resources listed on our website. Also, the state of Minnesota is coordinating a homemade mask drive. They are asking people to make masks and drop them at their local fire station. The event is next Saturday, April 25th, from 10 until 2. They will be handed out to people in need. Protesters hit the streets in St. Paul today. A group calling itself Liberate Minnesota organized the rally in front of the governor's residence. Members are demanding that Governor Tim Walz end the stay-at-home order he issued in mid-March to slow the spread of coronavirus. Hundreds, if not thousands, of people lined the sidewalks and drove through the area in their cars, honking their horns. Some say they want the governor to reopen the state because their businesses are struggling.
I'm a small business owner, and my business was shut down forcibly on the 17th of March, and I have yet to see any unemployment, any money come through from the government, and I'm sitting here without a paycheck with no definitive answer on when I will be returning to work, and I don't think that's right.
The group accuses Walz of using the COVID-19 crisis not to save lives, but instead to strip Minnesotans of their freedoms. Meanwhile, President Trump seems to be supporting those protesters. This morning, he tweeted, quote, "Liberate Minnesota." He published similar tweets for other states like Michigan, where protesters are also asking to reopen the economy. As visitor restrictions remain in place at local hospitals, St. Luke's is hoping to keep family members and patients connected virtually, and they're asking for your help. The St. Luke's Foundation is looking for any device with a functioning camera on it that could be restored to its manufactured settings. The goal is to give them to patients who don't have a way to talk with their loved ones while visitors are restricted. St. Luke's Dr. Rachel Gordon says most people who come to the hospital for any illness can't bring a loved one in with them, which she says is an important part of the healing process.
One of the things that we know is really important, especially in healing and in taking care of patients, is family support, is having that personal touch as well as family involvement.
If you have any devices you would like to donate, you are asked to call St. Luke's Foundation and schedule a drop-off time. We have that number on our website, CBS3Duluth.com. Let's take a quick look at the number of coronavirus cases around the area. Michigan now has more than 30,000 cases and 2,200 deaths. Wisconsin is at about 4,000 cases and 200 deaths. And Minnesota topped 2,000 today with 111 deaths. Worldwide, there are now more than 2.25 million cases with nearly 600,000 recoveries. As Iron Mines announced layoffs due to COVID-19, there's some positive news coming out of Itasca County. This week, we learned Prairie River Minerals plans to start new construction this month on a multi-million-dollar ore processing plant near Coleraine. The facility will process leftover iron ore waste tailings that can be used by steel plants. The area has had a rough go with mining projects lately, including the ongoing issues with SR Steel in Nashwauk and the bankruptcy of Magnetation back in 2015. Daniel Mandich has been the mayor of Coleraine for almost 2 years. He remembers the toll it took on the community when Magnetation closed. With the announcement of this new project, he's hopeful this will open up new opportunities for people in his community.
It's very exciting to me, and most everyone I've met in town is excited about this too. Coleraine has been in a little slump for a while here.
The company estimates the demonstration plant could create 25 to 30 jobs initially. We'll have much more on this during our Eye on Mining next Tuesday at 10. Still to come on Live Local CBS 3, Goodwill is asking people to hold on to their donations for now. Details coming up. And Dave will have your full weather forecast coming up in just a bit.
Live, local, CBS 3 News at 6 with Kristen Vaki, Anthony Matt, Kelly Hinson, and weather with meteorologist Dave Anderson on Live, local, CBS 3.
Vaping has been declared a national epidemic among youth. 1 in 3 high schoolers vape in northeastern Minnesota.
My child started having seizures from vaping. There's still so many unknown chemicals.
One vape cartridge has as much nicotine as at least 2 packs of cigarettes.
My child was hospitalized with severe lung injuries.
They said it was no big deal.
My child said it was no risk.
That it was under control.
That's what my child said. But what could I have said? Get the facts and talk to your child today.
At Empire Roofing, we know this coronavirus is scary, but we also know that we are the greatest country on earth. America will prevail. Count on it. Empire Roofing is open for business. We've been deemed an essential service by the government. The integrity of your roof and your home has never been more important. Let the team at Empire Roofing inspect your roof at no charge. We'll not come inside your home or have any personal contact with you or your family. Our website is empireroofingnm.com. We will get through this together.
From the kennel to the coop, whatever the season, Fleet Farm has everything to keep your animals happy and healthy. Whether it's keeping the backyard birds well-fed season, mastering those retrieval skills season, or wondering who takes care of who season. There's a reason people say if Fleet Farm doesn't have it, you don't need it, because we have it all. Fleet Farm, built for real life.
Did you know that Hibbing Community College culinary students learn in a full-service kitchen, providing delicious meals for campus 5 days a week?
Did you know that the nursing program has a fully functional simulation lab?
Did you know that the law enforcement program has over 40 years of history in training excellence? Now that you know, schedule a visit or apply online at hibbing.edu.
in reporting and storytelling, and so to have those skills each night really adds value.
They're saying a Duluthian would need to work 90 hours to afford rent.
He went right from a reporter where he was covering everything in the Northland, and he went right to the desk. He really does know what he's talking about.
Get to know Anthony Matt weekday nights on CBS3.
I'm going to build this zip line out of parts from this jet. It's saner than it sounds.
It doesn't sound sane at all.
Yeah!
A new MacGyver tonight on CBS.
You're like the left brain to my right.
Woo! It's rather presumptuous you saying you have a brain.
I suggest you leave now.
Oh, I wouldn't do that. Because after I take it from you, I'm then going to have to smash your ugly faces with it. He's going to help.
It's true.
A new Magnum PI tonight, 9/8 Central on CBS.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
Well, we started off this week with some heavy snow for some towns and a chill for the rest of us much of the week. Despite that, though, my yard's down to about 10% snow coverage. It's going to be a pretty decent weekend, and one might be tempted to take off the snow tires, but usually I don't do that until about May 10th, because when I was a kid, May 10th was the last big snowstorm we got up in Ely one year, so that's always been my benchmark date. The week ahead, frankly, doesn't look so bad. It looks relatively mild, and as far as precip goes, really only some chance chances for rain showers rather than any snow, at least this time around. Now, let's talk about Severe Weather Awareness Week. That's been going on this week as well. It's a good time to brush up your skills for severe weather, should it strike here this spring and this summer. Today's topic of discussion, well, it was extreme heat, and we don't get much of that up in our neck of the woods, no, but once in a while it does get hot, and bottom line is when it gets really hot, stay hydrated, seek shelter, and hopefully you can ride out the warm spell, because around here they usually don't last that long. Now, Severe Weather Awareness Week for wintertime, that'll come around in November, so we'll just have to wait with bated breath until that hits. Now, let's see what's hitting us as far as the current conditions go at the airport in Duluth. Right now, the current temperature is really pretty tolerable for this time of year, and it's going to show that we are eyeing up a reading of 44 degrees. Relative humidity readings 32%. Westerly southwesterly winds gusting to 16 miles per hour, and our air pressure holding steady on the higher side at 1,012 millibars. So that higher pressure system that was just circling the area for so long finally has set into the region. And right now the higher pressure for the most part is keeping the sky on the sunny side. A couple of showers are trying to creep in, and that's because the trend tonight will be for a low pressure system to advance upon our area as the higher pressure that's had us since yesterday starts to dive farther down towards the south. But in general tonight, I think we're going to be on the drier side. It's tomorrow when that trough of lower pressure comes along the Canadian border and kicks up the clouds for us, and also kicks up about a 30% chance for some rain showers. By Sunday, though, a fresh high brings back the sun, although temperatures will go down just a little bit. Let's look at the forecast here for tonight, where temperatures are going up. The teens are finally going away. In Minnesota, low temps tonight likely will be around 30 degrees for a lot of towns, thanks in part, of course, to the increasing clouds in the southwesterly wind that's going to be covering our entire region. Low temperatures in Wisconsin and Michigan overnight should be pretty close to 30 degrees, with the same increase in clouds that the rest of our towns get. Now for tomorrow, here's what Wisconsin and Michigan gets. Going to get a partly sunny sky, 30% chance for rain showers, and high temps warmer than normal by a few degrees, 53 to 57. Eyeing up the forecast for Minnesota, we'll see a very similar range of temperatures, if not just a little bit cooler, from about 48 to 53 degrees there in that part of our world. And now with the extended forecast, temperatures in the 50s don't stick around forever, Tony. As soon as Sunday, it does start to cool down just a little bit again. Then it perks up again on Monday with a shower chance, and cools down Tuesday with sun, and perks up again Wednesday. We've got this back and forth rhythm going all week long here, with one day of sprinkles and one day of sun.
That seems to be how spring goes sometimes, doesn't it, Dave? Thanks. Well, Big Top Chautauqua is hoping you'll pencil them in for 7 o'clock tonight. That's when their virtual Tiny Tent show starts. It's the Bayfield Area Music Venue's third installment in this series. Local artists, including the Blue Canvas Orchestra, will play from their living rooms. You can check out the show at 7 on Facebook Live or YouTube. We have a link to both on our website. New at 6, Duluth Goodwill is asking people to hold on to their donations for now. Earlier this week, the nonprofit closed its Northland stores and laid off almost 300 employees, but they say people are still dropping off donations outside their Garfield Avenue building. They're piling up outside, and Goodwill reps say they just don't have enough employees to sort through them. They say you can donate again once the stores reopen. With more free time on their hands, some families are connecting with their heritage. Last November, the Fond du Lac Ojibwe School in Cloquet brought back Ojibwe language lessons into the classroom. The classes had to make some changes while school is out, but the class's teacher had to make some changes while school is out, but he's still teaching his students online. He says much of the younger members of his community don't speak the language like their elders do.
Speakers much younger than that are not commonly found in Minnesota, Wisconsin, or Michigan. So it's really important that we get kids like the Ojibwe, like Anungo and Ini, speaking their language and understanding things in their language.
Billy Thompson's daughter and her daughter Brinley live in Cloquet. Brinley is a student in the Ojibwe class. Thompson says even at 3 years old, her daughter knows more Ojibwe than she does. She's learning her numbers, animals, and how to introduce herself in the language.
Say hello, I'm Brinley in Ojibwe. Say it loud.
Bonjour. Bonjour, South Korean.
Good job.
Thompson says Brinley is constantly surprising her when she says something in Ojibwe. Sometimes Thompson says she has to look it up to find the English translation. Up next in sports, the COVID-19 pandemic causes another local season to be put on hold. We'll have the details.
Take up to 25% off Key now at NorthwestOutlet.com.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler. When severe weather hits, tune to CBS3.
Tonight at 10, we'll be out here in the storm.
For up-to-date coverage morning and night.
Stay away from here.
Live local weather coverage on CBS3 Duluth. Get your news on the go, the CBS3 mobile app.
Our goal is an environment of decency, quality, and mutual respect for all human beings and all other living creatures. It's tremendously encouraging to see all across this country the remarkable interest on an issue, which is not only just an issue of survival, but an issue of how we survive.
A small idea, a world of change. Join us on April 22nd to commemorate 50 years of Earth Day.
In your community, there are businesses ready to help you through this difficult time. From restaurant takeout, appliance repair, roofing, or AC services, BBB connects you with local, trustworthy companies ready to do business safely and ethically. Support your local economy. BBB, building trust in trying times.
How do I take the 2020 census? In March 2020, every address in the country will receive an invitation to complete a simple questionnaire. And there are 3 ways to respond. Number 1, do it online. Number 2, call by phone. Number 3, send it by mail. For those who don't respond, a census taker from your community will follow up and assist you. Shape your future. Start here. Visit 2020census.gov.
Come on down for big laughs. Hello, everybody. I like those glasses.
Trying to imitate you.
Come on down for rip-roaring fun. Amazing. You made it. Come on down for spectacular surprises. $35,000. Just won $200,000. Oh, yeah. It's a new car. You need this in your life. Yes. Boy, is it going to be a good hour. The Price is Right. Weekday CBS Daytime.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
Welcome back into sports. Well, Duluth Huskies fans, you had to see this coming. The season has had to make some decisions, or the league rather has had to make some decisions regarding the upcoming season due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The Northwoods League made the official announcement earlier today that they are postponing the start of the season. That is in compliance with Wisconsin's governor extending the stay-at-home order until the end of May. The league's opening day was originally set for May 26th, and that included the Duluth Huskies' first game of the season. They were set to begin that day at Bismarck. As for when the league will make a decision on the 2020 season, they had this to say in their statement. The league will continue to consider multiple scenarios as each state determines its policies, always predicated on the assumption that adequate safeguards can be put in place in ballparks in states where there are no restrictions on large gatherings, in order to assure fan, player, and personnel safety, end quote. And that's a big if, question mark, on whether or not it is that they can gather safely, whether players can gather safely. Likely it's going to not include fans, but we will await a decision from the league office. Okay, now to some happier news. The WNBA draft is tonight, and they are the first league or the first, realm of sports to try out the virtual draft. And so far, it's going well. I have it on my computer here. The Minnesota Lynx have the 6th and 16th picks in the draft this year. Now, last year, the Lynx' highest draft pick, Napheja Collier, who went 6th overall, ended up playing a vital part to the Lynx' success. She was named last season's WNBA Rookie of the Year. Again, the Lynx have the 6th pick again this year in the draft. Just got going about 20 minutes ago. So to sum it up, the Lynx have not picked yet, but they will be on the clock probably in the next 20 minutes or so. In some more happy sports news, if you're a Gopher football fan, you got to know that PJ Fleck has gone to work when it comes to the recruiting class for the 2021 season. The Minnesota Golden Gopher football team continues to absolutely stack their 2021 recruiting class. The latest addition today announced is defensive back Avante Dickerson, who announced via his social media that he is officially going to be a Gopher. He's a prospect ranked 56th overall in the nation. Dickerson had offers from 25 schools. Those include LSU, Ohio State, Michigan, USC, Nebraska, Georgia, Iowa. He turned them all down to row the boat with PJ Fleck. Gophers recruiting class for 2021 now ranks 6th in the nation, according to 247 Sports, behind teams like Ohio State, Clemson, and Florida. Minnesota is right up there. Gophers now have 3 4-star recruits in their arsenal. Ethan Kalkamanis and cornerback Stephen Ortiz Jr. are the others. That is something to look forward to if you are a college football fan, especially a Golden Gopher football fan. Wisconsin's recruiting class, we're going to have more on that in the coming days. Their draft class ranks up there, too. Theirs is 5th, but that's kind of a no-brainer. Wisconsin kind of always has it together when it comes to recruiting. Gophers, this is new territory, definitely.
Yeah, speaking of college football, a lot of those players about to get selected next Thursday. I realize that's still about a week away. Do you have any hot takes, any insights on what the Vikings are planning to do?
You know what? I really don't. I have been focusing on the WNBA draft tonight, but we'll wait and see what the Vikings are going to do. I don't believe I know what overall they're picking. Do you know?
22nd.
I told you off cam not to ask me about the NFL draft, and you went for it.
Here we are.
22nd?
I guess we'll wait till next week. Thanks, Kelly.
I thought we were going to talk about something else, but here you are bombarding me.
Tonight on the CBS3 News at 10, golf courses in Minnesota and Wisconsin are being allowed to open this season despite the COVID-19 pandemic. We're taking a look at the rules and guidelines you need to know before hitting the links. And before we go, the task of weighing a penguin just got a lot easier at a London zoo thanks to some nifty DIY skills. Penguin weigh bridges made from upcycled materials salvaged from around the zoo with built-in scales are used to help weigh this colony here. Well, that's the news for now. We'll see you back here at 10. Thanks for watching.
CBS